Hello everyone. In my previous lecture, I discussed the interface between morphology and phonology. And in today's lecture, we will discuss the interface between morphology and syntax. So words and sentences. So when I say words, so I mean morphology. And when I say sentences, so I mean syntax. The interface between morphology and syntax. How these two distinct levels of language interact with each other. Again, let me repeat, interface mean interaction, how they are linked with each other, how morphological structures affect syntactic structures and how syntactic structures affect morphological structure. Let's begin and learn in detail. Morphology versus syntax. Morphology is concerned with the ways in which words are formed in language of the world. I discussed also briefly in my previous lecture that what does morphology do or what morphology studies. So simply morphology is concerned with the ways in which words are formed in the languages of the world. How words are formed, how words are structured, how new lexemes are coined. While in contrast, syntax is concerned with identifying the rules that allow us to combine words into phrases and phrases into sentences. So what does a syntax do? Syntax combines words into phrases and phrases into sentences. But the question is that we can't randomly combine words into phrases or sentences. We have certain rules. What are those rules? For example, that all the time we place subject before the verb. All the time we place object after the verb. All the time we place article, definite or indefinite before a noun. And similarly that all the time we say that I like this book is an interesting one. We don't say that this an book interesting because we have structure. So we have some rules and based on those rules we combine words into phrases and then phrases into sentences. Morphology and syntax then are generally concerned with different levels of linguistic organization because morphology organizes structure of words or organizes words. Different morphemes together form words, while syntax, different words are combined to make sentences and phrases. So morphologists look at processes of lexeme formation, how new words are formed, and inflections such as affixation, compoundings, reduplications, and the like. So this is the job of morphologist. While if we talk about that what does a syntax do, right? Or syntacticians are concerned among other things with phrases, structures, and movement rules. Movement from active to passive one, and rules concerning the interpretations of anaphors and pronouns. Nevertheless, there are many ways in which morphology and syntax interact, so we will discuss that today in our lecture. Valency and sentence structure. So what is valency? Valency is a verb that requires sometime one argument, sometime two arguments, sometime three arguments. Now what are arguments? Arguments are noun. Argument can be subject or it can be object. As discussed in chapter number 6, previously we discussed, so valency refers to the number of arguments, subject, object, etc. a verb needs. Sometimes a verb needs one argument, and sometimes a verb needs two arguments, and sometimes a verb needs three arguments, right? Or sometimes we have option also. So for example, sleep and needs, these verbs need one argument. We say she sleeps or he sleeps. We say I need or she needs. Or eat is a verb that requires two arguments. He eats an apple, because when you say that he eats, so people expect that what did he eat? So he eats an apple. Give required three arguments. She gave him a book. So she is one argument and him is another argument and book is another argument. So we have three arguments for the verb, for the valency, that is give. Valency-changing morphology changes. Right, so when valency, because when valency requires two arguments, so morphological structure also changes. How many arguments a verb takes? For example, sometime reducing passive, the book was read by him. Sometime a valency verb reduces an argument. Here him can be skip, right? So him, that is reduction. We usually say that the book was read. We don't say by him, because by phrase, that is ignore. Or sometimes this valency verb, it increases an argument. For example, when you have causative verb, that she made him read the book. So made is a causative verb and this made is a valency and it increases an argument. She is one argument and here we have him is another argument and the book that is added to this valency. Valency of verbs, simplified explanation with example. Valency refers to the number of arguments a verb requires to form a complete sentences. Arguments are essential parts of sentence that a verb needs to make sense. They are different from adjuncts which add extra optional information like time, place or manner. Even if you remove like adjuncts, which gives information about time, place or manner, so no effect will be there on a sentence. But you can't remove argument because arguments are mandatory in a sentence. Types of verbs by valency. Intransitive verbs takes one argument as subject only. For example, we say Ali snores. So that the verb snores is intransitive, it takes one argument. If you just say snore, the sentence will be incorrect. Or intransitive verb takes two arguments, subject plus object. Like we say Ali devoured the pizza. You can't use devour without an object. So the pizza is one argument, Ali is another argument. Or Ali devoured, that is object is missing. So this will be incorrect sentence. Or devour the pizza, again the subject is missing. So this will be incorrect sentence. Ditransitive verbs take three arguments, subject, object and location, a recipient. For example, Ali put a womb bed in a bath tube. So Ali put will be, if you just say Ali put, so too many arguments will be missing. For example, the tube bath will be, the bath tube will be missing and the womb bath will be missing. So the first sentence is correct while the second one is incorrect. Optional arguments still consider arguments. Some arguments can be left out if understood from the context. For example, my goat eats 10 cans. Explicit object. So you can say that my goat eats without saying 10 cans. So you have option here. Object that is understood, so you can remove it. Even though that the object is not stated in the second example, it is still implied by the verb eat. So it's argument, not an adjunct. Adjunct, not arguments. Optional phrases that add extra information. On Thursday with great care in the bath tube. So on Thursday, that is adjunct. If you remove on Thursday, so it doesn't matter. Okay, or even if you remove with great concern, doesn't matter. Great care or the bath tube. So these all are adjuncts. So these describes when, how and where, but not essential to the verb's meaning. So you can remove them. Valency-changing morphology. This means that morphological changes, suffixes, auxiliary, etc. that increases or decrease the number of argument a verb takes. Passive voice reduces valency by removing the adjunct. For example, Ali bathed the womb bed. So subject that is Ali and object that is womb bath. So passive will be that the womb bath was bathed by the faster or by the Ali. So here that the subject that is womb bed while the farmer that is object. What is object? That is faster, right? Now the adjunct Ali becomes option by phrase. For example, that the wombat was bathed by Ali, if you are saying, or by Fenster. So you can remove this by Fenster, which will reduce the adjunct. Tense aspect making. Sentence select tense aspect features, etc. plus past plus progressive, and morphology applies the appropriate affix. For example, I was reading a book. So we know that was, that is used with the subject I. And ing, if you're using progressive tense, so you must add ing. So that is suffix. So syntax subject plus past progressive, morphology, that is was, and past auxiliary reading plus ing form of the verb. So morphological making fulfill the syntax requirements for aspectual constructions. So thank you so much. It was all about the instructions or interface between morphology and syntax. In our next lecture, we will discuss the interface between morphology and semantics, semantic change and semantic shift. Thank you so much.